What we do here is go back.
Big gun.
We last left off when we were leaving the Chesapeake Bay. I thought I would show you what we do to prepare the boat and ourselves for passages. The boat is kept in a state of readiness to move at a moment's notice for safety reasons. So, a day trip isn't a big deal. But a passage is generally a major affair. The passage differs to the cruising we usually do in the Bahamas, which often involve hopping between islands only 10 to 30 miles apart, and doing this in daylight. Whereas a passage can require a week of preparation. These often include sailing offshore, covering distances in excess of 200 miles, and sailing both day and night, when you may or may not have the moon to light your way. The longer the passage, the more preparations needed. Prior preparation and planning is prudent. At about 2 weeks out from our desired departure date, we get started on passage prep.
Are you listening? Damn.
First and foremost, we need a safe weather window. Dustin starts looking at weather about 2 weeks out from departure. There may not be a suitable weather window available, so it's a matter of watching and waiting. A weather forecast is reliable about 5 days out and gets more reliable as the date approaches. However, it is important to have a couple of backup scenarios worked into your plans in case the forecast models are wrong.
A model's just a model. They're not going to be perfect. I should know I'm a modeler.
I was going to say some good comment. But you are perfect.
My models are. The models are just approximations.
Oh no, I was thinking of a supermodel.
Oh.
I was giving you a compliment.
Oh, okay. I'll take the... I was talking science. You were talking flesh.
For longer passages, we use Predict Wind's route planning software. We also review each weather forecast model ourselves. For these passages, we also write up a float plan. This outlines our planned movements based on an estimation of our slowest and fastest boat speed, as well as ditch points and Coast Guard emergency contacts. From here, we send the plan to my sister Julia. While underway, we send her a detailed update every 6 hours via satellite phone. With the all clear for a safe weather window, it is time to head into town to provision, so we have fresh produce aboard to get us through to our next destination. Just because we drop anchor doesn't always mean we have time to get to a shop. Although Dustin is helpful, I think he gets a bit bored. I don't know how I do it. Every single time I load up the trolley and estimate how much will fit in my backpack, and every time it's way too much. I don't know what's wrong with my spatial awareness that I think I can fit it in. I feel like a pack mule and one that's overworked at that. It's amazing how much someone buys in a weekly shop. I know that I would probably buy more than this if I had a car and was nipping out for a weekly shop, and you take it for granted. And I still have to get it on the light rail and then walk another 10 minutes to the dinghy dock and radio Dustin to get me. Elpis, SV Elpis. This is the Wandering Pack Mule. The Wandering Pack Mule. Over. He's on his way. We top up our fuel tanks with diesel. This is essential as a backup plan when sailing doesn't go to plan. We hold about 95 gallons, which is 350 litres. We also top up our dinghy fuel with petrol.
What's going on?
Getting into the water to do a bottom clean before we head off down the coast offshore. But it's been raining for about a week and we've been waiting for a slither of sunshine, and this is the best we've got. Clarity is fantastic, as you can see.
Actually, it's better than normal. I can see a fish.
My trusty noodle. I'm proud of myself. I've come a long way since 1 year ago.
It's a beautiful warm day.
Oh, it's like jumping from the oven to the freezer. Oh, my boobs aren't even in yet. Oh. There was a fish.
What's going up? Why is the air bubbles going up?
What do you mean?
Why are air bubbles going up your legs?
Maybe from my boots?
Oh.
Don't say that. I think it is something. Is it?
There's no creatures in your pants.
No. They might be on the outside.
There's none down there.
Maybe I haven't come along as well as I thought over the last year. Maybe there are.
You seem to have a problem.
It's worse than sand. They get everywhere. Look at the long thing. E.T. phone home. E.T. phone home.
It's probably just cold water.
That's all right then. In the days leading up to departure, we top up our water tanks. Like the fuel tanks, they hold 95 gallons, about 350 litres. I can't even get that. What's your excuse? Custom arm is a trait, not an excuse. We also fill jerry cans in case of an emergency ditch scenario. What do we got? Water. Water. We keep a maintenance schedule. This helps us stay on top of general checks. We cast our eyes over this before a passage to double check all our boat systems are up to scratch. If you want to excel at your boat maintenance, check out the video linked. Here's an idea of what we check.
So literally starting at the front of the boat, check guy lines for chafe and check all anchor points. Cotter pins on standing rigging, just generally checking the hardware around attachments like the crossbeam to the boat itself.
The engines get a once-over. This happens before we depart and also while we're underway. Items checked, among other things, are the oil and fuel levels, cooling system, and the steering system. Life vests are placed in the cockpit, on hand for use. Jack lines are placed around the deck as safety lines. When underway in rough conditions, we attach our tethers to these lines, and they keep us attached to the boat if we fall over. We run jack lines around the cockpit and the main deck, and from the mast to each bow. Before a passage, I find it easy to just write down a menu and anything I need to do, so I'm organised. You lose track of days as they go one by one into the night, and watch after watch, you lose track. So that's what I'm doing. So I even write reminders So Friday morning I need to get out chicken and lasagna to defrost. I've pre-cooked some things. And that's how I do things. I make them easy meals, smallish serves, but they can just be heated up and eaten. And finally, we prepare ourselves with a good night of sleep.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's departure day. And time for final checks. On goes the electronics.
At Norfolk. Can I get a radio check, please?
Radio check, loud and clear.
Thank you very much.
The sailbag is opened. And lines are free to run. The engines go on. And with the passage prep completed, we are off and away.
Do